This is episode 258 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by Marcel. I was right, you three were wrong. Montano.
I know what I'm talking about. Z95.
Will, that ain't right. Hegwood.
Everything Marcel says, that ain't right.
And Ryan, I wish I spent more time playing the game than helping figure out sentence structures in X-Wing text. Staniszewski.
Yeah, I don't mind reading to people, but this is just getting out of hand now.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the newly announced Clone Z95. We got a couple of new pilots that we got revealed for that, so we're going to be taking a peek at that, have some discussions about what's new, what's not, and why is Marcel right and we're all wrong. But before that, want to remind you that today's podcast is brought to you by our patrons. Thank you so much to our Gold Squadron patrons and everybody who has supported Gold Squadron. One of the biggest projects that I have going on right now is just trying to get caught up, playing catch up. Because essentially, I refuse to plan anything else to do until I'm caught up at this point. And we got past a big hill this weekend, and that is I have shipped out every single stream prize that has been backed up. That means that stuff all the way back from Galaxies 21, starting with Moncala, all the way through. Now, we shipped out things in between there, but there were, for instance, like the prize, like, for instance, like target locks and pins that were of Galaxies. I didn't feel right shipping those early if the people who played didn't get them, so we shipped those later. You know what I mean? It was weird. But anyway, guys, it was like 140 packages for stream prizes. We give away a lot of stuff. Away a lot of stuff. But that's why starting in basically once we get our new plan for how we're going to give things away restructured, we're going to be helped out by Curl Paw Creatives. They're going to be part of the Gold Squadron team officially when it comes to shipping, and they'll be taking care of that. We're going to be streamlining some of the process, but that means that y'all who win stuff should be getting things sooner rather than having to wait 6 months to get things. But hey, you got it. It was free stuff. All right. So I didn't feel too bad. Alrighty. So that is that. Then there was something else I was gonna say. The next big project, or the next thing that we're behind on now, is the next wave of Patreon stuff. Basically, I'm waiting for the art. I'm waiting for the art at this point, and I have I could do a pivot move. I have a pivot move available, but I'd rather not take it if I don't have to. So we'll be updated there soon. Look for a post on Patreon to see what's going to go on there. But yeah, let's jump into it, folks. Let's jump into it. So we're going to click the button. And let us begin by talking about the Clone Z95 Headhunter. We got 2 pilots revealed and the dial, which is going to be important here. Ryan, you want to start us off? Give me what's the lowdown on the ship, the stats, the baseline.
The stats are a standard Z95. 2 attack dice, 2 defense dice, 2 hull, 2 shields. It is a Z95. Albeit from the Clone Wars era, which technically newer in their time than when we eventually get it, when we've had it in our X-Wing history, which is in a scum or rebel option. But it does have, unlike the other Z95s, a ship ability, versatile frame, where you can equip 1 torpedo or missile upgrade while your revealed maneuver is blue. Add a white boost to your action bar. And to put in context, the action bar is a white focus, white lock, and red barrel roll, same as all other C95s, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. No linked actions, man. I'm a little disappointed.
Got a boost.
I mean, do you though? When you blew?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes. I guess I'm just being a little greedy. I'm being a little greedy. But we got 2 pilots. Should we hit the dial first? Hit the dial before we do the pilots? Let's do that.
Yeah, since we're
All
on
right.
the blue maneuver part, right? Let's make sure what our blue maneuvers are.
Can I ask a question about the versatile frame? If
Yeah.
someone gave you an action before you revealed your dial, do you not have a white boost?
I would assume
Yeah.
not, because
Correct.
you don't have a revealed maneuver.
Okay. Good to know.
It is still hidden. It's not revealed.
Yep.
So
My
it, can't,
first guess.
it denies some pre-position boosting.
I also
Which you would-
wonder, with the loadout options given to these ships, if they will not have a torpedo or missile slot on top of the versatile frame. I know with the singular pilot in the T-70s right now, 9 Nub, well, not singular, there are other pilots, but 9 Nub's a good example that has a missile slot and has the weapon hard point. But I wonder if, because of how it's worded, where you can equip 1 torpedo or missile upgrade, if that rule on that versatile frame by itself, well, they'll just say that you don't get any other secondary slots on the ship. You just get the versatile frame.
I mean, that's a way to keep it cheap. It's a way to keep it cheap. And from what we know, cheap is good. Cheap gets played if the abilities work out. But let's go ahead. Let's hit that dial first before we do anything else here. Will, what do we got? What's on this Z95 dial?
All right, should be very familiar. We got 1 bank whites, 2 bank blues, 3 bank whites. You got all the straight maneuvers. 1, 2, 3 are all blue. You got that white 4 forward. Hard 2s and hard 3s. And they also have a 3 and 4 K turn. So pretty standard, nothing too crazy there. Though the hard 3 is less and getting those big sweeping hard 3s. But still lacking the ways to 180 that aren't just the standard kilogram turn. So no sloops, no Talon rolls, nothing like that. Nothing too crazy. No 1 bank blues either. You have to do the 2 bank.
Yep, you got no choices there. No choices there. Thoughts on the dial when putting that together with the ship ability, with that boost? What do you think, Marcel? I mean, they didn't change it up, so does it work?
I mean, it works in that it can. It works in that it can boost, I guess. I mean, it's got 4 options to boost. Does it work? As in, is it effective? Hardly, because there's no linked action, so there's nothing that, unless it's being coordinated, there's really nothing that there's not much. I'm not gonna say nothing. There's not much that is gaining by boosting, especially in a faction where you get so many either free boosts or boosts after action, with the Nantex getting the evade and then boosting. Anything with the Force getting the boost and still having the Force, and especially the Etas and the Deltas getting either the system phase boost or the free reposition after. So short answer, or that was a long answer to say it's hot garbage. It'll get less play than the Z95s and the other factions, because it is competing in it's not a better torrent. The torrent has a 5th hull and probably is walking around with, like Tucker's walking around with 2 missile slots for something like barrage rockets or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not a better torrent. It's not a better V-wing. It's worse than a torrent. It's worse than a B-wing. And it's definitely not better than a Naboo. And we're not even going to get into the Jedi. Like, all of these need to be 2 points in order for them to be
Well, see, that's
worthwhile.
That's the fun part to think about what's structured right now. Before AMG 2.5 and Standard 2.0, I would look at the ship and the rest of the Republic faction. I would say, what point is it? What point cost is this going to have to be for me to care past it being a Torrent, a V-wing, a Naboo? There's so many things that could be, and it's the tough part with Republic is because a lot of ships do have that sort of 2-die platform, low health, 2 or 3 agility. That's kind of where it splits off in their maneuverability and force or no force. But with the loadouts being varied on both the slots available and the cost, or the amount of points you can put on a pilot, I can no longer say a single ship is like almost DOA, dead on arrival, anymore.
I mean, if they gave a couple of these pilots, 12 loadout value, we're talking 3-point proton torpedoes. I don't know if they would do that, but that would be what it would take for a lot of people naysaying like Marcel to get them to be played. Would you bring a 3-point proton torpedo?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, you couldn't be. Then who?
Only.
I mean, Warhawk can't die. I mean, we haven't really talked about it, but
Yeah, I know, but I mean,
yeah, some good pilot
he's
abilities
going to
for it.
need somebody to toss him over a target lock. It's going to be single modded unless he's getting a coordinate or unless he's with like a lat that can give him rerolls or something.
Synchronized
or maybe
console.
a synchronized. Yeah, but then it's still only single modded with a focus token.
I mean, I'll take a single modded 4-die shot for
What?
3 points.
You get the lock. You could spin the
Yeah.
lock with synchronized.
Hmm?
You're thinking targeting synchronizer. I'm talking about synchronized console.
Where they
that's the one that
pass
after you
down
shoot,
the locks.
You pass it down. Yeah, there's conditions to meet in that
Sure.
one, but I don't know. Is it possible? Yeah, for 3 points, maybe. But then I look at it and like I'm not taking it over Barris. I'm not taking it.
Well, you ain't taking much over
Over.
Barris. You ain't taking a lot of 4-point chips over Barris.
I mean, let's put it this
Yeah.
way: we could hope that some point in the near-ish future. Don't know if it'll be by the time these come out, but yeah, if purple doesn't go up, yeah, we could see these not played very often beyond just people trying new things.
Yeah, and to go back to the 3-point thing, yeah, 4 dice with a proton torpedo is good, but right now you can get 3 different ships that'll give you passive sensors, ion torpedo, and actually 2 ships that'll give you passive
true.
ion torpedo and a free evade with 5 health. So it's still 4 dice, and I would say that the ion is just as important as getting that extra damage in a lot of these matchups because of the mission. So again, it's gonna have unless it's got like the ridiculous amount of loadout points to where you can put like a hull and an afterburner.
That's what I was going to say. Like, at what loadout value are you paying 4 points for these Z95s?
Probably 16 or above.
Did you
To
want
where
the
you can
whole
get a
and
hull,
proton?
a shield. Yeah, no, I mean a hull, a shield, and an ion torpedo or something like that.
Sure. Okay. I would have to agree. They're gonna be having a hard time convincing me to pay 3 points for these things, or 4 points for these things.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see what splash they make. I think the biggest thing that has to be worried is I like that they have access to the boost. Maybe there's a configuration or something that allows you to boost and do another action. Something like that. Like it says like it's something that allows it to boost and then be able to perform a scenario action would give it value. Where it's kind of like a pseudo-linked action, but we don't know if something like that is coming. It might end up being on only one, but a lot of people, they have their filler 2-point, 3-point ship that you can just kind of toss in a list. And if your filler ship can do dual actions and it's cheap enough, maybe that works out. That is the hope that I have for these Z95s, where it can just fill some other niche, or like you guys said, like there's so much value in the upgrades.
I mean, we haven't talked about the support abilities that they're bringing, though. That could be worth some value.
Go ahead, hit me. What's Warhawk got?
Yeah, Warthog, formerly from the LAT. After you or a friendly non-limited ship at range 0 to 2 are destroyed, during the engagement phase, that ship is not removed until the end of the phase. So Warthog can keep himself alive, though not a lot of generics flying around these days for Warthog to help out. But hey, he survives every time until the end of the engagement phase.
Now, in a world, let's go down in the future. In a world where the generics become competitive, I'm going to use that word, worth bringing when it comes to the cost, this is an interesting choice versus the Warthog LAT. Just the point cost differential that's likely between these two. Could be a cheap way to have almost a Warthog effect / a Biggs effect, because you're going to want to kill this thing first anyway. In most cases, we'll see. I find it interesting. I'm assuming that it's going to be obviously a lot cheaper than the LAT version. And
I just wish they errated Warthog's ability like they did Goron's and have him. You base it off the clone keyword and non-limited.
Ooh,
I don't
like
think you can use keywords during the game, though.
I know, that's the rough part, right? 'Cause it's only for equipping, but like some way to do that would have been nice. Like helps his clones and the non-limited stuff.
They could use keywords in the game. They can make the rules. Just change it.
I agree. Do that.
There you go. I mean, why not? It's present in a lot of games. But here we go.
Be a lot easier to say droid than network calculating ship.
Yeah, true.
That's a lot less words. All right, and then what do we got here, Marcel?
All right. We got a Hawk. At the start of the end phase, each friendly ship at range 0 to 1 that has a revealed maneuver speed 3 to 5 may gain 1 strain to perform a barrel roll or a boost action. Happens in the end phase, has to be at range 0 to 1. So it's an ability to itself. And it's at the end phase, which means you can clear it with a blue maneuver later. So that's not the end of the world. Of course, you can't have used their boost ahead of time because you can't boost twice in the same turn. Anyway, initiative 4. So basically the same ability as the LAT. Again, in a chassis that is not as good as a LAT, it's probably going to come in at 3 points in order to, even with a bunch of loadout points, will need to be like at 3. I don't know. I don't see it because it happens at the end phase. Mm-hmm. I see it less useful than a system phase where it's going to help you get an objective. Right. Now, quick question for you rule people,
yes.
or you people that cheat less than others.
Right, us that read, correct. All right.
How does I remember they explained it a little bit, how counting points and then boosting in to get out of points.
Points first.
How does that work?
Points first, then everything else.
Well, let's clarify that a little bit further. Mission points.
Mission
first.
Points, correct.
Then all the other end phase stuff.
Yep.
So that wouldn't even let you boost into an objective that you're like, oh, I can get that objective point.
Nope.
Boost in.
They shut that
really
down.
Positional.
So I mean, yeah, it's going from bad to worse. Give it 28 loadout points. Give it 2 missile slots, and give it something to make it worthwhile.
I mean, I will say that a Hawk feels like it's going to be a lot easier to trigger. With the LAT, you're trying to go around the side. You're also a medium base, so you don't boost in the same way that other ships do. But I can say this is easy. I mean, Hawk just has unlimited afterburners, right? 3 forward boost, 3 forward boost, just all game.
Yeah, but why? In the end phase, it's not that helpful.
Well, it's getting you ready for that.
It's not really an afterburners when afterburners is commonly used right now to help mitigate doing a boost action for objectives.
Okay, I take that back. So it's more like an ADA then, like in a system phase boost rather than an end phase.
Yeah, except your opponent already knows the reposition you've done before doing dials the next round. So
they knew I was going to boost.
And you're going to be strained, so that means you're probably doing a blue maneuver after it.
Yeah, 3 forward. But it's still pretty good. Like, not slow.
You can see the difference between this, the V-wing, and the Torrent. I think the problem is that we're not seeing it as more valuable than the two. What does it offer me that would make me take it over, the 2-point V-wing that we currently has? Click, right? That's currently 2 points.
No, Contrail.
No, Contrail. Excuse me.
Yeah. Right now, the only potential value that these could show that would make me want to play them is the option for a torpedo slot with decent loadout points available at 3 cost or less. Because right now, as soon as you hit 4 cost, you got oddball V-wing with a proton torpedo. It's just easy money with that if you were looking for that.
Right.
Oh, that actually, you reminded me of a question. Are we going to see Oddball in this as well? What do you guys think? Bets on Oddball being one of these. I mean, there's 2 of them, right? There's got to be a bunch of pilots for this ship.
You know what? We probably can go to Asmodee's site and see how many pilots they have listed. They have, like, not what they are, but, like, they'll list, I think, the number of products in there, right? I think looking.
Sometimes.
Let's see. Support your Grand Army of the Republic forces with the Z95 Headhunter expansion for the Star Wars X-Wing. This expansion contains 2 Z95s, 2 beautifully painted miniatures, 2 maneuver dials and tokens, 12 ship cards.
Oof. Wow.
12 pilots. Well,
I mean,
not necessarily.
4 of them are generics, right?
Right.
2 of each generic. So it's really 8. Maybe there's clones can't really be double unique. That's not really a thing, right?
They haven't been, no. No, that wouldn't
What if they're
make sense.
Special Forces clones or something like that?
maybe
Unless they're double unique to it that don't have names you're right, there are a squad type thing.
Oh. We haven't seen it before. 501st Aerial Legion or something, whatever you want to call them.
So we have 8 potential named pilots. I think that is really good odds for Oddball.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, out of 8 pilots, so there's got to be a gem in there, right?
Somebody
That's
save this
quite a lot,
expansion.
actually. Right, how many torrents are there right now? That's actually a lot of pilots.
And you actually just reminded me, Will. Shout out to our newest Grand Admiral patron, Chief Yankton. All right, he was the 501st patron that we've had. He's the 501st.
Ooh,
so,
okay.
That's pretty cool.
Nice. So, just to put in perspective, even if you were to take the torrents and put them in a double pack right now, if you get 2 blue squad protectors, 2 gold squadron pilots, so there's 4 there. 5 for Axe, 6 for Swoop, 7 for Tucker, 8 for Kickback, 9 for Oddball. The Z95 is going to have more ship cards than I think almost any Republic clone ship in the faction.
Oh, clone ship. I was going to say Aether Sprite might still give it a run for its money.
That's a lot.
Well, there's some promise there. Maybe
you could easily have even more.
Somebody's got to interact with that boost, right?
Got to have even more repeat pilots than just Oddball at this point, right?
Why is the average play time on an X-Wing game 45 minutes?
They're jousting, bro. They're
what scenario are we playing?
That's a Z95's life expectancy, 45 minutes.
Life expectancy of 2 Z95s. Yeah, correct.
Exactly,
correct. You got them both.
Z95s.
Fantastic. Well, let's be honest. Most of us are gonna buy it anyway because they're cool, and we hold on to our models waiting for its day so that it becomes playable, and we put it out there. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna jump back into our ranking of ships. We are doing them by point order. Last week we talked about 2 points, then we did 3, 4, 5, and now we are going 6 plus. We're gonna go basically until we run out of time. We'll see if we get all the way through everything, but should be good. You know what? I always find it interesting when, understand we're kind of, this is our first kind of crack at this. We don't have enough data to really know where everything is going to end up. And I absolutely love when people prove us wrong. So if you found a build, some type of squad that like features one of these ships that we end up ranking really, really low, please let us know. Example, I had put the Brute in the dumpster, and then Steven Cotillo came to Adepticon and was like, look at me, I earned a Worlds invite with the Brute. So, hey, you know what? Please prove us wrong. That's part of the fun. That's part of the fun.
Careful.
What?
You're going to trigger. He didn't earn it.
I mean,
What did he do?
he did.
What are you using him of?
Steve?
But he earned it. He flew well.
No.
I know what Marcel is saying. I know what Marcel is saying, but he still was in contention.
Have courage of your
for
convictions. Say it, because I don't understand what's going on right now.
No, there was a playoff for the World's invite, and he lost on a roll-off.
Oh, he lost. He lost the game.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought he won the game. No, it was
Now you
Babcock.
gotta give him one. Now you gotta find him one.
I gotta let me go check in my stock room downstairs and see what I can do. Sorry about that, Steve. I'm sorry. All right. He was in contention for a World's invite is what I meant to say. Clearly, check the tape, okay? Check the tape. Let's go back. Here we go. We're taking a look at 6-point ships today. 6-point ships today. If we miss an extended ship, we'll try to catch it as we go along here. But let's go ahead and hit this. 6 pointers. And I figured what we did last time is we are going to kind of just talk about what do we think is good right away. Like, what is something that stands out? And tell me if you guys feel the same way. We've noticed that high ship count generally is the way to go. When you get to 6 points, you are now committing you're committing a significant amount of points with this pilot in your squad. So if it's not contributing consistently, that's a problem, right? It's over that 25% threshold. I was really struggling to find an S tier 6 points. And I think as we continue going up, like, it just becomes a smaller percentage of each group. Any just thoughts on the 6-point category as a whole?
Yeah, I think you're right. From not just 6, but 6 on as we go through the rest of the day, or through the rest of the list up to 11, is I went through the list and then I realized, like, I was thought to myself, like, it seems like am I in a bad mood or something? Because I'm being overly critical on these things. There's a lot of low grades on here.
Yep.
And then I went back, while we were talking about the other stuff, I went back to try to review, like, what can I bump up? And then I thought, well, I like this ship a lot. Maybe I can bump it up. But then I started thinking, just practically, like, okay, if I were to bump this up to an S, would I genuinely take this above 2 3-point options or a 3 and a 4 for the 7-pointers that are available in the same faction that I've listed as an A or an S? And the answer is no. Like, there is very few ships that I would genuinely say earn the S tier. That doesn't mean that they can't be a component of an S tier
Squad,
list.
yeah.
Like, yeah, you can have a 20-point squad that is an S tier because that one contributor is in there. You talk about, I don't think it's an S tier squad, but you could talk about like Travis Johnson's Chewbacca, right? Chewbacca is not, I don't even know what it is. Chewbacca's like an 8 or something, right? But whatever Chewbacca is at,
It's 7.
it is not a 7. Okay, Chewbacca is not an S tier. It is hardly an A tier. Probably A, maybe B. It's somewhere between B and an A. But in that particular squad, it it works, and it makes the whole, the what's the saying, like the whole is a sum or something like that. Sum of its parts.
Some of it's
Greater than its sum of its parts.
Yeah, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts type of scenario, where the synergy kind of brings it up a little bit, but the ship in a microcosm, the ship in itself is not that valuable, and that's what I ended up finding almost exclusively. 6 to 11 is hard to justify an S tier for anything, and I listed a couple. We'll talk about them when we get there, but I stretched. I can easily all of the S tiers from here that I listed are a stretch. Just trying to be generous.
So
I'll say
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
That probably contributes to the fact that a lot of people are keying in on what. Now it's smart to try and do, and it's a way to play right now. The higher ship count lists tend to veer more towards a PvE style, where getting the objective done, getting your points, staying alive, and having some firepower capability. When you get into these higher point lists or higher point ships, depending on how many more of these or things close to this cost, if you're at a 6-point ship, you're probably going to be sitting at a 5 or less count ship list, which means you're going to have at least 1 or 2 components in that are really good at killing other opponents' lists or ships in general, and highly threatening those ships that do just want to take scenario actions and say, all right, if you can take that scenario action, you're going to be modless defensively. I could just kill you. So these ships that we're about to go through, they either have to bring severe killing power or severe staying power. If they're worth their points, they have to stay there the whole game, almost unkillable levels, where your opponent has to decide in the beginning of the game, I need to make this a target priority, because if I decide to change my target priority in the middle of the game, there's no way I'm actually killing it, because it takes that long to bring it down.
Yep. Now, Will, what would you say on looking at our list here of 6-point pilots is your top? Like who's the I would say on my list, I don't think I have an S at all. No, I have one. I got one, and it's not even in standard.
Who do you have? Go first before somebody steals your stuff.
Me? Han Solo Resistance in extended, I think, is S tier.
Resistance
Han Solo. It's not
extended banned too, right?
Well, yeah, it's banned in standard, but you can play it in extended.
Yeah, but just because of the turn 0.
Yeah, because of the amount of control you have on positioning with the objectives, which is why it is banned in standard. But yeah, that's it. That's what I got. Like, that is my top S, and it's not even in standard. Will, don't forget to unmute yourself when you have a sec.
I'm talking, don't worry. I feel like there's very few pilots on this list who are flying a chassis I want to spend 6 points on.
Right?
And there's there's very few of them in standard as well. Like, some is extended, I might pay 6 points for like a Shadowcaster or a Lambda or something, right? That seems reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
But man, paying like 6 points for a Hawk, even if you are getting the Moldy Crow, like, what was the other one I kept seeing? The T-70s. Oh, the poor T-70s. LO, Temin, and 9 are 6 points. I don't want to pay 6 points for a T-70. Like, even if they are really good, but I would probably say my standout one, I think I have to give it to... Is it really Anakin Skywalker in the Y-Wing?
That's my A+.
Like, Like, I guess it is. Like, out of all these guys, all these pilots, that Anakin, after seeing Adepticon, the loadout, afterburners, R4P or whatever, R4P, being surprisingly quick, can hit hard, has some control with the ion cannon turret, right? Like, I assume there's other builds, but man, that build does surprise me. I've been able to play it once or twice, and it can do a lot of work. But it's Republic though, so I feel bad for even bringing it up.
It's a Y-wing though, and not a Jedi.
It is a Y-wing.
Starfighter
That's fair.
or Ada. So
that's fair. It's a low agility Jedi, so
it is the highest loadout given to any ship in the sixes. So couple that with 3 Force and I-6.
Yeah.
I guess we should have noticed it before.
Yeah. Just to piggyback off of that, I mean, Hera as well, marking 27 points. There's so many things you could do with that. You can give her a force point and proton torpedoes. It's a bit absurd. What you could do with Hera. I don't know if she's as good as Anakin though. She don't shoot proton torpedoes as good, that's for sure.
She just hits a little bit. Anakin hits a little bit harder.
Well, she can double tap. That's really, you get weapons, system officer, Ian Torp, and then ion cannon, or a sync to laser turret as well. But she's in like that whole combo thing, right? Where you got to have like other parts to her. She can't just be out there by herself.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Ryan? What's your you got any other notable 6-point ships?
Well, if no one else has any S ships to really go off of at this point, I have 2.
Hit us.
S is for Sunfok. He's coming for you. There is something very, very noticeable when Sunfok got the mod slot and enough to take afterburners. It is ridiculous the speed and distance it can cover using the tractor forward and boost in either order. It is your choice. It's extremely effective. And when you're in a faction that has Grievous, who I think we all agreed was one of the top tier, if not the top 5 points.
Yep.
Those two partnered together can eat a ship in a turn very well.
I hadn't considered the afterburners on there.
Oh yeah. And so a lot of people will used to, and which made sense, go with Predator on Sunfok. Enduring is a godsend on Sunfok because there were so many crits that were so damaging because you needed your action to be available to rotate the ship if you even wanted to do its pinpoint tracked array ability. Enduring is the 2-point talent you take after you already taken snare and afterburners. I think I talked to Doug Howe a little bit after Adepticon, and I kind of noticed this as well when I played it. You're not tractor repositioning people as much as you think because of how often they can just rotate and look at you. Sunfok can get hurt by being shot by multiple ships, but he can just get to so many places that other ships just can't. And it's still a big threat to have that tractor move, even though you can't put them on rocks. You can still put them in front of rocks and tell them if they want to rotate, they can, or just give someone a tractor so Sunfok doesn't have to worry about it. But make that ship just, I mean, if you just give someone a tractor and just Grievous is there to outmaneuver, I'm sorry, you're taking probably 3 or 4 damage easy.
What about giving it to Grievous, who can then outmaneuver?
Also, that true. You can reposition Grievous or one of your own ships with that ensnare. So there's a lot of things you do. Or in the future, could give it to your good pal Cad Bane, who can then shoot at enemy ship and give it to them. It's just eye-opening. It's still not it's not the power Sunfok used to be because you could put things on rocks. There wasn't the 90-degree rotate available, but the afterburners made a huge difference, without a doubt.
Hello. I see William, Ryan, Marcel. I got an S tier. All right, thank you. Trying to skip a brother.
No, actually, I was muted, so I said nothing. The people heard nothing. So, Marcel, what's your top S tier?
Oh, it is not Sunfuck, and you got Sunfuck at C, Dion. Wow, I got it at B. It's probably closer to an A after hearing Ryan, but it's definitely not an S. It still dies. It's still 6 points that dies pretty easily. And anyway, the only S tier that I have similar to you, Dion, is in extended, and for me, it is Colonel Jenden in the Lambda shuttle. Colonel Jenden comes in with 20 loadout points, and just the ability to take a couple things. The ability to take turn 1 target locks on X1s, to have those X1s modded is great. A white coordinate at a reasonable cost, and then you can still, with the title, still take the target lock action as a result is strong as well. It really helps, if you're throwing somebody out there and they're going to have a target lock and, be able to take their, a target lock to get those 3 attacks with the potential crit in there. Anyway, a lot of cool stuff. Jenden is cool, and he was cool back then. He's still cool now. And I think that's the only one. There was a bunch of A's in there, but nobody else that was an S. And even that one, I think it was a stretch for an S, but it's still an S and extended.
All right. I like it. Now, Marcel, we'll pivot. We'll pivot on you. What about a 6-point ship that has fallen from grace? Like, oh my goodness, this used to be amazing. Everybody loved this pilot, and now don't even look at it.
Okay, fallen from grace. So
Yes.
let me roll up here. Well, I think the biggest one that fell from grace, if you're looking at a 6-pointer, is the Delta B Jedi Knight, which was in 2.0 one of the best ships out there. Mm-hmm. And at 6 points is probably 2 points above its where it should be. No, actually, with 8 loadout points, it's probably 1 point above it. Could be a 5, but at 6 points with it's just garbage. Let's see what else.
Well, would it be considered garbage if the regular Aether sprites weren't priced so well, or aggressively at least?
Yeah, it would still be garbage at 6 points.
Okay.
I think so, because at 6 points you're, with 2 agility, they roll die. They got 7 health, so think about it as a compared to like the T-70s. And the T-70s also have 2 agility, 3 attack dice, 8 health. 8 health because most of them walking around with a shield or a hull upgrade. And some of them are rolling in at 4 points. Some of them are rolling in at 5. And the ones that are rolling in at 6, we all said are D tier. Be it they don't have the force, but they would be what, C at best? I don't know. I don't think they're very good. Not for 6 points. Maybe 5. See what else? Oops, I deleted
I'd be
something.
extremely scared if there were 7 Bs at 5 points, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
I would too, because I have 4 or 7 Bs. Yeah.
If the shift
Actually,
in
no.
meta, like they bring up the other Aether sprites and bring down the 7 Bs, I think I'm still really scared of Republic.
All righty. What about you, Will? You have any other notable pilots here at the 6-point level?
That have fallen from grace.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm probably Paylob. As someone who loves Hawks, loves Scum Hawks, Paylob got access to the Moldy Crow, but it is now makes them 6 points, 12 loadout. So you can still get some bombs, but man, 6 points just for like a single Hawk just seems not enough. Even if you win like Hull Shield, right? He lives and dies on those evade tokens, hoping the enemy just takes evade tokens so you can steal. He's just a ship that like at a certain point strain for actions, right? Even if you put like boost on him to go get objectives, still not very fast. I just don't think that at that price point he's gonna see much play at all. Not with Kanan and the other ones being 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with that and the other Hawks with is that the Multicrow title just lost a lot of value because you're not taking the first 2 turns to build up that cushion of walking into with 3 focus. You're getting into. I mean, you're punching at turn 1. You're throwing punches.
You're trying to boost turn 1, not focus. Right?
You're not spending 2-3 turns picking up tokens. So I think that's probably the.
So I'm gonna piggyback on Kyle Katarn as well. What was played so frequently since Hera came out. One of Hera's best friends, Kyle Katarn. Now, like, I'm not paying 6 points for that pseudo coordinate. Not when you can get U-wings for 5, right?
Yeah.
A lot of X-wings for 4 and 5, right? He's significantly more than most X-wings now. So it's, you're paying for it though. That's 6 points for those Multicrow Hawks. I mean, still good. I mean, you could probably find value in them, but man, what a shakeup for those guys.
All right, now let's go ahead and let's give some people some just kind of going to Ryan here. Ryan, what I would like from you is just a couple of notable, like, maybe there's something here at 6 points.
Oh, okay. I have my brain ready for the bad stuff, but I'll divert.
You can give me the bad stuff while you look for the good stuff. How about that?
Quick bad stuff. Obviously, Warthog because of generics, nowhere, and Hawklat just better, more loadout. The other one, literally almost every single resistance list I think had this pilot in it, and now just none ever is Jessica Pava. Very sad to see it 6 points. Definitely hits really hard. Has I think a lot 16 loadout's a lot, but like I'm spending 6 points on that.
No.
Potential.
The other problem with her is the fact that you have to keep ships close to each other with her. It's a proximity issue.
I mean, if stuff ends up going there, sure. She's definitely more of a let everyone go meet at the middle objective or something, like just form a tighter area of objectives to exist so that Jess and friends can stay close together and be very effective. But it's just not really worth it right now. Okay, you know what?
Give me one value pick. Give me a value pick here.
The value pick. I almost gave this an A, but I went to B for now, and it's Old Terok. Because Old Terok actually has more loadout points than Fen. It's 16. It's actually quite a lot. A lot of things you can do with it. I think the most entertaining one I've considered was Old Terok, who was able to have afterburners. It's 2 talent slots, outmaneuver, and then we have 4 points left. I just put Fearless on there. It's literally get back here and look at me. Outmaneuver, afterburners, Fearless. You're taking away all the green tokens. It's good in that regard. It may be a value option if you want a 6-point thing in Scum and you don't have room to make it 7 for Fen Rao. I think Old Terok has some play.
All right, Will, value pick.
Ooh, value pick. I. Ooh, that's a tough one. Man,
I
I
mean,
don't
when you're
know if I
spending
could.
6 points, value
I
is
don't
a
know.
is a relative term, you know.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I could just choose like a million of these aces, right? But
Right.
I think I'll go with blackout actually. As he often gets overshadowed by Kylo in the silencer. But he's only one more point than any other silencer, so still gets good value there. Can leverage that I5 if you don't take sensitive controls. If you do take sensitive controls, he has enough loadout to get trick shot plus some sort of munition, and can get. We've seen it very valuable. The sensor scramblers to be able to start off cloaked. So you could just run out and get an objective real fast and not have to really worry about incoming fire. So he's a pretty good ace. Never got bad. Still very valuable with the sensitive controls.
Marcel, value pick at 6 points.
I think for me, it's got to be Arc 170 Rebel Nora Wexley. 16 loadout points is great. A lot of ships being together, she gets the free evade. Veteran turret gunner at 2 points. It's anything with the native front and back arc and a gunner is just going to be automatically a little bit better because veteran turret gunner at 2 is just such a steal. And especially for a ship that wants to be in the scrum of things. I think you and I have it at A, Ryan has it at B. And it was one of the ones that I considered being one of my only S tier ones. And again, just you could do so much with it. You can do, with the 16 points, 14 realistically, because you should be taking veteran turret gunner. There's just a ton that you can do with it, especially just throw a force on there. I think that's, find something useful, throw a force on there, or even if you're doing like the trajectory simulator B-Wings, use it as your Sabine carrier and it'll last a little, it'll survive for a while. So really good ship, I think.
All right, and my value pick here at 6 points, it might be kind of an easy one. We didn't mention it though. Is Wedge in the T65? Excuse me. I mean, it's good at killing things. Always has been, and has a good number of loadout points. Wedge right there. You got 20. Even though I put it at B, and the only reason I put it at B is like it's not a scenario specialist, but it's good at what it does, and you can win games by taking ships off the board. It's initiative 6, and is maneuverable enough to still be relevant during a fight. All right. Anything else on 6-pointers, friends, before we move on to 7? Going once, going twice. Here we are, 7 points. Now we're getting even more expensive. All right. We shopping at the at the Ritzy Mall now. All right. 7-point ships. Let's go ahead and let's just go with top picks. Top picks here for 7-pointers. Let's go, Ryan. Hit me.
I think my only S tier in 7, Luke Skywalker in the T65. It hits so hard, has force, I5, proton torpedo, afterburners, can take outmaneuver. That proton torpedo, if out of arc, is ridiculously dangerous and will lead towards a dead ship, whether it is straight from Luke shooting it or Luke shooting it and then someone else cleaning it up. It is extremely hard to ignore. It also can be hard to kill if you don't have the right pieces to do it.
Marcel?
For me, the standout is the Mandalorian in the ST-70 assault ship. 28 points, 2 agility. Is it 9 or 10 health to begin with? 9, I believe.
9.
Right? 10. Yeah, so 9 health behind 2 agility and 28 loadout points. There's just a lot of and that 28 loadout points does not include the free
That's been clarified actually.
illicit.
It is
which is
no the ruling here. Let me go pull it up.
There was a
go
lot.
ahead.
That's what my quote middle name of the day kind of referred to. There was a lot of discussion today across multiple discords and forums stuff, which deliberated the can you equip 2 illicits on the ST-70 assault ship, whatever pilot, and then equip the title to give you a 3rd illicit essentially via the title's ability. There was a lot of weird ways to pose the question, which was answered directly, which didn't really answer it. I couldn't find it. I tried to earlier. That no, you have to be able to have an open illicit slot to be able to use the title.
That's our boy Psych J7 asking the question in the forum.
That's
right
what
there.
I kind of refer to as like not asking it correctly, because technically I think Chris said in that no, it does not grant an additional upgrade slot, which technically well, it looks like he edited the post then, because he used to just say does not grant additional upgrade slot, which is true, but also the hidden illicit card must be equipped to an existing empty illicit upgrade slot, which that second sentence later added, I believe, helps clarify to that now you cannot equip 2 illicits at the start and use the title. You have to have an open slot, which I think is counterintuitive to like
How it reads.
2 to 3 other rulings of other things in the game right now. It's very confusing. Agent Eric's. There's no illicits on the FOs or the SFs. I don't know.
Well-
There's very specific wording that separates one and the other. It's just not very casual or new player, or even like I'd say to like over 50% of the average X-Wing community right now, competitive or not, it's not helpful, I'll say. And I'm not even like trying to get myself, I want this 3 illicit build. It's my secret tech. No, not at all. I just, for the sanity of the people, to be honest.
Okay. Well, changes nothing. So you still have 28 points.
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of shenanigans that you can do with it.
Yeah.
L3, I think we said a week or 2 ago, it's stable down there just to be able to clear that stress. But, the Mando, the fact that you can put the Mando title on there and Kira, for example, and then the Razor Crest title gives you, more fun stuff. A lot of points to play with. And Scum specifically, Scum gives you a ton of fun stuff. So it'll probably be between the Mandalorian and Bosk. Bosk hits a little bit harder. Mandalorian gives you more.
I asked for
fun.
1 ship, and this guy goes and takes 2 ships.
Well, I took Mando,
Wow.
so I didn't take Bosk.
Wow.
I said it's between, and I took Bosk. I took Mando. But so you can have Bosk.
You are
'cause I
talking
know that's what you
Marcel,
wanted.
right?
Of course. I set myself up for this. It's fine.
I took Mando, so there you go. Tell me why Bosk is such a better pick over Mando, even though I said otherwise.
I think Bosk is the child of offensive consistency with the amount of upgrades you can put on him. The list that Ryan has gave me a few weeks ago at this point is what I've been playing, like messing around with Q9 and trying some different build outs on Bosk as well. And it is just consistently a super scary ship. And in every scenario that it's been in, it if its job is just to be scary, it does good enough to take those low health ship, even if they're high agility. They don't want to be around Bosk. So if I can affect the field that way, that makes Bosk 100% worth his points. That's why I have him at S tier, because I have experienced the power of the Bosk side.
Just out of curiosity, what's the build that you're referring to?
I've tried a couple of different ones. I've done for funsies Jabba with contraband. Right, you just like, this is my home now, and using other ships to toss him different modifiers and things like that. I couldn't tell you the loadout off the top of my head, just because it's.
I think at this point too, I think the list comp I'd probably switch to versus the one I gave you originally would be Bosk, Mando, Manaru, Ahav, instead of Q9. I think I put Q9 there so I could fit Gamut Key. I don't think it's necessary anymore.
It's not worth it.
Manaru's too good at 4, and
Yeah.
Mando, I think the more I've seen it, is just actually a lot better than Q9. I thought Q9 would be a good value option, but it lost 2 talent slots out of nowhere. But that even wasn't the killer. Like, I'm just seeing how Mando plays out. It's much better.
It hurt. Q9's got some problems. In scenarios, Q9's got some problems.
Q9 will eventually die.
Yeah.
Mando, on the other hand, is much harder to kill.
Agreed. All right, Will, top pick, S tier, 7 points. What you got?
All right, so you've said so far Luke, the Mandalorian, and Bosk.
Mm-hmm.
Man, there's not much left.
Is that the hot take? There's nobody else.
No, I don't. I would say, and in my list, I still had Poe and Dengar, mainly because they're high initiative and their ability to double mount a proton torpedo, essentially turn 1 with no setup. Assuming Dengar is taking overtuned modulators, which you should. You just roll up and take a lock, dare people to shoot you. With Notorious now, man, what Notorious has done is people just do not want to shoot at that ship if they know you're going to shoot back with a reroll and a strain on you. It makes it so you just don't even, you just try to deal with Dengar for whatever the 6 turns of the game, right? You're just like, I'm just going to ignore it. Similar to what I would assume people do with Boss. We're just going to not look at that ship. We're just going to ignore it. And hopefully it goes away in 6.
If you put both of them in the list, though, they go, I can't ignore both of these, though.
Oh, well, let's see. But then you can't put Notorious on both of them, though, which I think is really what has brought Dengar from, like, okay, pretty good to, like, to a new level with Notorious. Being able to, like I said, and now if people want to shoot at you, they have to reduce their agility, get shot back, and give Dengar a reroll. Which is probably asking too much.
If they're in Dengar's arc, though, only.
Sure, of course, right? Whereas Notorious does work a little bit better for Boss. He's got that bigger arc, but he's not Initiative 6, though. Doesn't have a K turn, things like that. And then I'm stealing 2, apparently, because I think there's literally... I mean, we all ranked Finn Rao. Can I just talk about Finn Rao? I mean, Poe's good. Bottom line. Do whatever you want. He's got a ridiculous loadout. And you can bring proton torpedoes and advanced proton torpedoes on Poe. Yeah, he'll do damage. But I do want to ask you guys about Finn Rao in the Fang Fighter. We all ranked him high, A tier. We know it's a good ship. It has so much potential, but it's not like you don't start your scum list with Finn Rao. Like I'm not even sure how to build lists with Finn Rao anymore.
I think Fenn has the problem where, like, as a single operator, he's great. And I think even in spread out objectives, he has a place, because if the fight is separated, he doesn't have to worry about people firing at range 2, which is his unhappy place. I think the problem is the cost, and I think if you want Fenn Rau in the squad, I think you actually have to start with, all right, 7 points put aside, you budget it for it, but after that, you need at least 4 other ships to take the heat off of Fenn Rau so that he can actually be Fenn Rau. Because if that's what you got out there, it's going to be a struggle.
Makes sense to me.
I mean, I think right now, basically, besides Luke, we just listed Dengar, Bosk, Fenn, and
Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian, right?
It's all scum.
It's all scum. If you aren't trying some of these 7-point options in scum, maybe that's why you're having issues with scum right now, because their best value is in their it's kind of themey, is their big, lumbering, heavy hitting hunters. It's cool, actually.
Yeah, the big scary ones for sure. Anything else that we want to mention about 7 points? With it, there's a bunch of bad ones in the generics. Lot of D tier there, mostly because the value compared to the. Hit me, Will.
Can I ask you guys about the gauntlet? 7 points minimum cost for a gauntlet, where we start seeing some of the big names: Ezra, Rook cast for Scum, Bo-Katan for the Republican Separatist as well comes in at 7 points. Man, I rated them all as C. Maybe Rook. You might be able to convince me about Rook, but I'm just not seeing how they're worth 7 points. They're compared to a lot of the other ships we just named.
I think the only ones I have at A right now are Ezra and Rook in the 7-point range. Make sure I'm actually telling the truth to myself on that. Cool, thanks, Dion.
Does Ezra, like, Ezra looks so good on paper, but like, is he actually doing stuff?
Knight Brother title? Yeah, he could. You can equip Ursa Ren Crew to him. He can do something. Ursa Ren Crew and Rebels is really good right now. So that with Force, with Knight Brother, and a slew of whatever else you want to do. I mean, you have 10 points left in upgrades to choose after you take 6 in Ursa and 0 for Knight Brother anyway. So you can figure out what you want to do there. All the other gauntlets, I think I either put like a C or a B. Any of them that are B are just kind of like, they might have something, but I don't know. It's too new. So I'm just going to B-ish for now. Like, it's a gauntlet. It might do something good. I don't know. There's only a few of them. I don't know if I gave any of them C's. If I did, it was a generic or something I don't care about.
Hark, for me, I don't even know what I listed Hark as, but I think he's got, let me see.
That's the side slipping Imperial, right?
Yeah, so Hark is the only one that I see has value. What did I list him as? I don't know where he's at.
You gave him a B.
A B. And I think that's about right. But the only reason I think he's got potential, and he's one of those where the sum is greater than the whole sum. Whatever. I don't know how to say it, but you guys get it. Where you can build a list to make it work is Hark with the Mandalorian optics, Grand Moff Tarkin, and a bunch of X1s. Basically, just point at something and say, in system phase, okay, you're gonna die this turn, and just delete things every turn. Right. Because the X1s double modded X1 shots are just bad. So the fact that you can double mod all of them is, but again, that's that one list. If you're flying the Hark plus a bunch of X1s, it'll work. But outside of that little,
I think you're thinking of Gar, gimmick, by the way.
No, I'm thinking of Captain Hark.
Hark, because he's cheaper than Gar Saxon, because Saxon is 8, and Hark can still take the Mando Optics Tarkin combination.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
there you go.
Captain
Harkin is what I would nickname him in that film.
Well, What do you do with your extra point then?
You have a
Well,
single
I mean,
point?
I would upload. Sorry, Hark is at 3, and all the other ones are at 3. So I would upgrade one of those X1s to Gorin, to Commander Gorin.
Okay.
Yeah, because
actually makes a lot
that
of
free
sense.
evade is
Okay.
like
All right,
because if you're going
that's
if you,
worth
yeah
dropping,
if you're
sure.
going the other guy Saxon, you're going offensive power.
Of course.
If you're going Hark, you're going to upgrade to Gorin and just have an evade available to anybody who needs it that particular turn.
Okay. I'm gonna have to put the gauntlet on the table. I've just watched games and have built lists with them. I've not haven't put it on the table yet. We'll see.
Start with veteran turret gunner. You better have a great excuse not to bring veteran tail gunner.
Tail gunner.
I was about to say tail gunner. The only time I haven't brought veteran tail gunner is when I know I've built a gauntlet that is 0 stopping most of the game
Oh. Well,
and just artillery firing and not
I
a lot
like
of.
I like the strain giving. I think it's I'm gonna say Tar, but that's not right. It's the other
Strain
Saxon.
giving?
Tiber Saxon.
Oh, the
maybe?
gunner.
Yeah, the gunner. Yeah. You shoot stuff and you hit things with strain.
You get a
pretty
strain
cool.
and you go pow. All right. Pretty solid. 7 points. We talked a little bit about the gauntlet there. Just quick. Just wanted to see if there was something. Nope. Never mind. All right. Here we go. 8 points. 8 points. And we're talking about the gauntlet already. Marcel, you got Maul with an S right there.
I think so. Right now, he has the potential to be an S. Yes.
All right. Tell me
He is
about
an
that
S.
potential.
So I got 2 different builds, but I'll do the one that I think will probably be the most versatile. So it is Darth Maul, 8 points, 27 loadout. Comes in with the Night Brother title, which I think we talked about what it does already. And then the main trigger of it being the Jabba Hutt drop seat bay, which gives you additional crew slots. So Jabba the Hutt. Okay, you're building it out right there for me. Cool. Put it back on Yasby.
Yep. Sorry, I just accidentally closed the window.
Cool. So Jabba the Hutt, veteran tail gunner, because William was right. You can't leave home without it. Overtuned modulators on the illicit. Lando Calrissian crew. Unkar Plut crew. And then I also like Enduring because crits are bad. So this list, basically Jabba the Hutt gives you 5 overtuned modulators. And then with Lando, so that means you're getting 3 calculates. And Lando allows you to use one of those calculates to reroll offense or defense as much as you want. So basically you're getting a double modded offense and defense at least 3 times because it has 3 force natively plus the Lando. You're getting to double mod your offense. You're getting to modify your defense coming in. And then the Unkar Plut, because Maul's ability allows you to spend the force to coordinate 2 different ships at initiative 5. You can bump because there's going to, it's a big base. You're going to be bumping a lot. If you bump, you can say, hey, you know what? I'm already got 3 calculates. I'm already doing double, I'm already re-rolling my defensive dice at least 3 times. If I need to do that, I can coordinate 2 ships, take a damage, coordinate 2 ships at initiative 5. Or if you know you're going to take a ton of damages, I'll take this 1 damage now and just take a reinforce instead because the reinforce is red. So you're just going to take a damage, take a reinforce, and then you got rerolls on your defense, on your 2 agility, plus a reinforce. So you're not going to take a whole lot of damage. So again, the whole Lando, overtuned Jabba, rerolling your offense, rerolling your defense, force for modifiers, coordinating 2 different ships at initiative 5 is just ridiculous. So you've got mods on offense, mods on defense, plus
Do you find yourself stressed a lot though, so where you can't do overtuned?
Only if because with Unkar Plut, that's the whole thing. Unkar Plut allows you to take a white action when you pump.
Yeah, but so the turns you reinforce, the turns you zero, the turn after you.
Well, the turn you reinforce, it means you're not gonna die. That's like I got 6 ships gonna shoot me at range 1, and I don't want to
Also,
die.
you talked about defensive reroll. Where are you getting that from?
Lando.
Crew.
Lando,
I use for both. Neat. I only thought about
offense and
attacking.
defense, yeah.
So
And
a
you
quick
get and you get it every single turn. You get every that's enough to do the first one plus another 4 or 5 that you get from Jabba.
and a quick
That's like
reminder.
5.
A quick reminder for anybody who doesn't remember, Lando Scum Crew, after you roll a dice, or after you roll dice, you may spend 1 green token, so that's one of those calculates from over 2 modulators, to re-roll up to 2 of your results.
And Chilling Guy said he did make a point. You can't reinforce with it because it has to be a wide action. Okay, so that was wrong, unless you have the other build that I had, but
it just stops your
reinforce.
No, it stops your overtuned the next round because you can't overtuned while stressed. That's what I was wondering.
No. He's saying when you use Unkar Plut, you
Correct.
Can't.
You can only
Has to be a
do
white action.
the focus or
White
the lock.
action, yeah.
Oh, because okay.
So you're not going to reinforce, but again, with 2 agility, 11 hull, is it? 11,
Yeah, but
11 health, 2 agility, 11 health, and rerolls. Right? Yeah, you're trying to coordinate, or you just not take a damage and stay alive. 3 force plus rerolls on defense. It's going to be alive. I mean, it's basically Boba Fett, isn't it? Is Boba Fett at range 1, 2, and 3?
I guess so. I would like to see I think the rerolls probably skewers the like super force builds I've seen where you get like Savage and Ahsoka and Child get like 6 force with hate or just 7 force non-recurring in general. And I think I have to agree as long as you can keep popping those overtune modulators, as long as you don't stop or hit a debris or something like that. I think this would have more, what do I want to say? More modifiers, right?
Yeah, the problem with those like 7 force lists on a single ship is that you only get 1 back a turn. That's the bigger issue.
It doesn't stop blanks from happening. This has at least an anti-blank
Blank
cushion.
mitigation.
Yeah.
Well, with Child, you don't actually get 1 back, but if you rock Child and Hate, you get 1 back every time you take damage from, or you get 2 back every time you take damage from an attack. You could fill back up pretty quickly.
Yeah,
but I do like that more. So
yeah, with the Force, with the Calculates and Enduring, you're almost never taking crits anyway, unless somebody rolls like 3 hits and, all 3 of them are crits.
All right, well let's keep it going here. We talked about Maul. Brian, give me that S tier or that top tier if you don't have any S's.
Oh yeah, I don't have any S's. So this is where I kind of had to separate. If I'm considering, hey, am I grading these by themselves, or am I grading in their capabilities, their effectiveness, and what they do to the board state, or am I also taking into account how much is left for you to put in a list that you effectively think you can field? Because that's where 8's where you get like real tight, where you're like, hey, if I'm putting one of these ships in here, I'm really tight in my squad building. They really got to get their points back to be worth it, and they need to highly affect the board. Now, even though I'm not sure if I feel comfortable building lists with them right now, I think X1 Vader right now, I think is an A for me. Access to text slot, pattern analyzer. Oh, that's what do I need defenders for? Granted, you still need to fully execute the maneuver, but afterburners, and Pattern Analyzer is just where I start with Vader and I figure out the rest from there. Do I want Malice? Do I want passive sensors as the next top 2 costing things? I'll figure out if I want Hull or Shield later, I think. We got 2 Force slots. No talent, probably a good thing. Maybe I might earn a talent later to make that 8 points more worth it. But that Vader hurts a lot. Does real damage, has the X1 ability, so can get crits effectively, which, as I may have mentioned in past casts, not only is that really good for salvage, but a lot of the crit damage cards affect your ability to do scenario actions or get to scenarios without repercussions. So, as much as we know crits are bad, they are worse now. So more crits that you can do to your opponent, probably better.
That's right. Darth Vader, very action efficient. I like Vader as a call. What about you, Will?
Ooh, this is probably a reach, but I'm taking Kylo Ren and the Silencer as my only S tier. I don't think I even gave an S tier to 7-pointers. Kylo Ren, turns out, still has enough loadout to take proton torpedoes. Can also take, I forget the exact build now, but Brilliant Evasion and the Sensor Scramblers. You must have the Sensor Scramblers on your Kylo. So good. I think that's pretty close to his 16-point loadout. You got some other options in there. I like the Brilliant. I don't really think you need to go Malice because you need to bring the proton torpedoes. The biggest debate is really, are you running sensitive controls or not? Certainly big advantages either way. So I think it's more of what you're used to. If you can take advantage of sensitive controls, you probably should be. Because it gives you so much more variety in your movements. And man, he's just as good as ever. And in 6 turns or so, with his speed and high agility, he's pretty much unkillable. Which is why I think. Oh well, Dion, do you have one? I got a runner-up I want to talk about.
Honestly, those were the 3 that you guys brought up were the ones that I was looking at. 8 points outside of, honestly, for my personal type of flying, like outside of Vader and Kylo Ren, I don't think there's a ship on this list that I consider flying, personally. So go for it. What is your runner-up?
So, in the same line of thinking of like a ship that you can't kill in 7 rounds or whatever, right? It makes me think about a Decimator, who I think do rank high in this tier. But actually, I want to get your guys' opinions on Anakin Skywalker 7B. Full board knowledge, right? You still got the 3 attack power, 15 loadout, so do whatever. I don't even know what you would get with 15 points on that ship. But that's a ship that is can dance enough to not give up those 8 points in that amount of time. We all ranked him at B, which seemed like, he's got value in that aspect.
My issue is I would rather take. I think out of the Anakin Skywalkers, it's the least productive for what it does. The Y-Wing Anakin, I think, is more value. You get more loadout points. If you're just going out there to murder things, the Y-Wing is better. 8-2 Anakin with all the crit bot type of stuff, which we haven't even mentioned yet, significantly better. I just 7B Anakin lands for me in a weird spot where I don't see myself, unless my goal is to play 7B and there's a strategic reason why I'm going 7B. I don't I think it's the worst Anakin. It's still good. It's still B, like, in the game. Like, I think it's still B tier. But if you need an Anakin I6, go for another one.
So competition, basically.
Yeah.
There's competing not only Anakins, but competing heavy hitters like that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. There's not very many thin ships. I've noticed that we've significantly gotten bigger ships as the points go on. I think this tier shows it. Do we only have 2 small bases left? No, 3. Oh wait, the defenders. Never mind.
Yeah, the defenders are which, you know, they're middling because they're so expensive and they're action starved overall. That's their biggest issue, for sure. All right, any other notables for 8 points before we move on to 9?
I don't know if you guys said this, but for me, it would also be Gar Saxon. I listed it an A. Dion didn't list it. Ryan and we'll put it as a B.
I don't have an opinion.
Yeah, but for the same reason that I listed as a notable the Harkin for the Mando Tarkin with 4 X1s. It's still a 5-ship list. And this one I actually have flown. I didn't fly the other one yet. The other one's just theory crafting. But I have flown Gar Saxon with 4 X1s. Mm-hmm. And that additional die when you do the K turn afterwards is extremely valuable, especially you get 2 of them every turn. I mean, you get 2 of them on a turn and then 1 every turn if you're like constantly using it. But yeah, that ability is really helpful. I mean, it turns those X1s, even if they don't have a target lock, you still get a 3-die gun out of them when they do that. And it also allows. I think I flew it with Gar Saxon with Tarkin. It also, Gar Saxon gives you an extra crew slot, which allows you to fit Krennic, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong. Because I've flown different versions of it.
I think you need the drop seat. I think it only comes with 1 crew.
Probably I did something like that. I don't remember. Because I flew different versions of this plus other ones with the Lambda shuttle instead.
I really do like Gar. Like when you can throw 4 dice, be like, if someone's like, turn away from me, I dare you. I'm gonna give you 4 dice. 5 at range 1 if you're like chasing somebody down. Like it.
But it's not only for yourself; it's for your friendlies as well. Think about
people.
Jan Ors, how good Jan Ors. Think about Jan Ors. Thinking about 7th Fleet Gunner. You know, the other things that allow you to get an extra die out of friendly ships. You know, there's a big premium and big value in those things, and Gar Saxon gives that to you. And the fact that you can get Gar with 4 X1s for a 5-ship list, and each of those X1s at 6 health, and then Zertek, being one of those. And again, free target locks for everyone at system phase. It's just pretty nutty.
See, my concern though with this list, I mean, with the ability itself, is because you do have to be in that back arc of an enemy ship. Are you able to get that done consistently and worry about the objective?
Two or 3 times a game, yeah.
Yeah, and the reason you can is because it's for friendly ships, not for yourself. So if it's for yourself, probably not.
Right.
But the fact that it also works on the 4 other ships that are out there trying to help you out. Mm-hmm. Again, you can target lock something on the left, but then the better shot is over here, and it still gives you the 3-die attack for those X1s.
Good point. Good point.
Here. Yeah, I would note as well. I'm with Marcel. I think the Gar and 4 X1s might be the better list, but don't forget this thing's got a greater than 16-point loadout. Gar Saxon can take Admiral Sloane and run. What would that be? 6 TIE fighters with them as well. Now you can boost those TIE fighters up to 4 dice attacks at range 1 with a reroll from Sloane potentially. You can really Big surprise, Sloane's good. But even more so when you start compounding like these ties to just like throw the blockers at them, people will second guess taking that red focus all of a sudden. Like now it is an actual decision to make because you're giving all the other ties rerolls. If some of them K-turn behind you, now they have, like you said, like 3-4 dice attacks on you. Could be potentially really good. Though I guess Captain Oiken with his 25-point loadout could do the same kind of Sloane build. But I think Gar is better than Oiken. Can we at least agree on that?
It sounds like utility-wise, yes, for sure. I will agree, because you notice I didn't put points for either of them. I didn't put a ranking because I was like, I don't know how to feel about these ships. I don't have enough internal data. I don't got enough mental data to be able to make a choice there. But you guys are winning me over with Gar. That sounds interesting. Maybe I start with Gar when it comes to the gauntlet. I got to find my gauntlet.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Gar and 4x once is the way to go.
Oh yeah, if you can pull off the beautiful move of shoot 4 dice in your front arc, and then shoot. Well, I mean, if you pull a 5 dice front arc and then 4 dice back arc, you are a god. If someone allowed you to do that, but most people like it's like an intimidation thing. You're not the like not the card intimidation, but like you're drawing aggro. You're like, you have to look at me. Right? Like the opposite of Zam. Like, you can't turn your back on me. I will find you.
All right. Cool. All right, gonna have to take a look at Gar Saxon. I maybe have not I can't say underestimated, but didn't consider the power that it has. All right, here we're getting towards the end here, fam. Let's go ahead. We're at 9 points, and it looks like the highest rated one for us at A, if we were to do a quick average, would be Han Solo in the Rebel 1300. Why is that, Ryan?
So Han, as we know, has his natural ability, which is rerolls with obstacles nearby, 0-1. He did get knocked down a little bit because of how obstacles are much more dangerous and you can't land on any of them. He used to do that trick where he would use Kane and crew to land on debris, get rid of the stress, and still be able to do action/shoot. Can't do that anymore. So it inhibits him a little bit. And there are other Falcons that are lower costs that are good value. But I6, big base boosting, 25 loadout, probably something there. Is it worth 9 points? Maybe not. Or it's just it might be worth 9 points. Just 9 points isn't the bracket you want to be looking at right now, which is why none of us have an S and very few A's at all.
Yeah. I would recommend, if you're bringing Han Solo, if you're bringing any ship this expensive, you got to find a way to double attack, which is why I think a lot of them, as much as I want to rate Rear Admiral Chernow high, like I can't even justify a B. I don't think, because he only shoots once. I don't know.
What are you talking about? He shoot twice.
How does he shoot? Well, veteran turret gunner.
Oh, try again.
MiGs.
Yeah, there it is. Proton Torp with MiGs Mayfield.
What? Okay, maybe, I guess. Twice you could shoot twice. Great. I mean, that's actually not bad. But because you could double shoot out the front. But it's still got to be two different targets, though.
And you need to get them like a red.
Sure. You just have somebody else target lock them. It's not that hard. But yeah, it can't be the person for MiGs? Is that what you mean?
Oh, no. Somebody else has to, yeah.
Oh, sorry. What about you, Marcel?
I chickened out of calling Han Solo a A, because he's really not an A. He's a B. I can't fathom spending 9 points in the Rebel faction on one ship. There's just so much good 2, 3, 4 pointers, even 5 pointers. I mean, 9 is a 5 and a 4. I mean, that is ridiculous. Think about the list that I took to Adepticon. That would be getting rid of Gina and Netrum and still having 1 point left over for the cost of that Han. That is not gonna happen. That is just terrible. Probably the best list on here is Rack, I think. Just because of Rack's native ability, and you can put like Minister Tua or something on there to Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, Sloane. Like there's things that you can do, and then there's a bunch of 2-point ships that you can build out. Night Beast, a couple 2-pointers, and then just throw something like Zyrtec in there. Like there's things that you can do to add enough numbers out there to make Chernu worthwhile, but for the most part, yeah.
I mean, he
the
does
more I
have
think about it,
an impressive 35 loadout. I believe the
that is
highest in the game.
ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of loadout points, yeah. And again, pretty good options with your crew slots in the Empire with with the Palpatine, Vader. I think Palpatine and Vader and Sloane are probably the 3 you would go with in Rack specifically. I don't know what else you would do. I mean,
Some commandos.
Vader. Yeah, I mean that's another way of getting another 2 guns out there for a couple turns, right?
Sure is.
Yeah, I see Dion doing stuff here. So yeah, get some Palpatine on there. Get some friendlies. That still gives you 9 points. You don't need no shield. That's a lot of points for a 0 agility.
Yeah, Super Commandos, Sloane,
No bombs.
fifth
Yeah, you
brother.
don't need no bombs.
That seems outrageous. You probably actually do all need all this stuff. You probably actually do need to bring bombs on them.
Yeah, actually throw MiGs on there. That's a good, cheap way of getting.
You have to.
Commandos?
Yeah, you have to shoot Torp first.
Yeah, you're right. Throw commandos or the. I think they're called Empire. Yeah,
Imperial.
Super.
and then Vader.
Fifth brother. Torpedo.
No, you're only at 2 points left because you already used all your. Don't forget the title; it's free. Why'd you take the?
I don't know. I'm just clicking buttons. I don't know. Try to see.
Ruthless. Throw some ruthless on there, yeah.
I'm ruthless. You're half the list. You're gonna start killing the other half.
You gotta throw a bunch of TIE fighters in there. Who cares? Just kill those TIE fighters.
All right. So here I have a question. So it sounds like from our conversation we're saying that the higher pointed ships are overall they're a tough pill to swallow because of how much they can take away from your squad building when they're over half of the points and how the ships function in scenarios. If there was an additional scenario, so right now it's is it assault on the assault at the satellite array gives you an advantage, right, for having a larger ship. If there were more scenarios that had a bonus or some type of boon for having a larger base ship, does that make large base ships that cost 8, 9, 10 points more worth it?
I mean, yeah, if you're like large base could pick up like 2 cargo caches, I could see some value all of a sudden. Like you risk like losing them, but you can still carry more. Would make sense to
Or
me.
maybe the large base ships can do advanced maneuvers while carrying the caches.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just I'm trying to see. Most of the time, as X-Wing players, we're looking for efficiency, And what we're seeing right now is with the current way that the game is played, we have an inefficiency when it comes to large base ships. So I'm just trying to see where are things at.
I see right through you, Dion.
You see right through me.
Look,
What?
I see right through you, looking right at your face.
Yeah. What do you see?
You're crowdsourcing for objective ideas for your galaxies and your other. I see right through you. I was here like, well, what if? How can I make? I see what's going on.
I mean, even if it's true,
It's a good idea, yeah. No, I don't care. I'm open for it because I would love for a 3-ship list. We're talking about 4. I would love for a 3-ship list to be viable in a tournament. I would love that a lot.
Yeah, something. I'm thinking of a scenario where it's like VIP. Like as long as you got one ship on the board, it's scoring a point a round. So these larger, chunkier ships who are just hard to take down in 4 or 5 rounds could be like designated that like VIP.
Yeah,
Right.
and not only that,
the chase is on, right, to find Han Solo.
yeah, I was gonna say it's not even, if you were to give them the ability to carry 2 or anything like that. I think if you were to take the current objectives that we have outside of chance engagement and were to lower the number of objectives that you're putting out in the field to 3, if you had 3 objectives instead of 5, those 3 and 4 ship lists look really good because the amount of points that they're going behind by going after the kill is, they're only going 2 points probably because you're unlikely to go, 0-3. So you're going 1 to 2 is not very meaningful if your objective is to kill the other player. So you don't even have to change the objective and change the way that the mechanics of the missions work if you reduce the number of objectives that are available for ships to pick up and run away with, or to claim, or whatever the other one is, King of the Hill thingy.
So,
Cool.
Dion, are we talking about these only in the bracket of 9, or since you're?
I mean, let's go ahead and talk about 10 and 11 because I mean we're in the big spenders category right now, Ryan. Take it.
There's not a lot left, and so we talked about we just got done talking about like how much these pilots probably don't make up their costs, yet almost all of us across the board, until Will maybe puts a letter in there, put Boba Fett
you know what's
in the fire spray.
You know what's A. I put Separatist Boba Fett as A earlier, and I didn't realize
I did too,
that.
actually. I think a lot of people, Dion did as well. I think a lot of people are sleeping on
I was
Separatist
like,
Boba Fett.
for 8 points, let's go. I was like, oh wait, no, that's not the right Boba
Kid
Fett.
Boba and Separatist for 7, I think is good. But anyway, the adult Boba Fett, Scum Boba Fett, one of those ships that's on the list of, if I want it, you need to take a hard look. If you see Boba across the board, you need to take a hard look at your own list. Can I actually kill this thing before the game is over? If the answer is no,
Don't even shoot it.
don't even try it. Don't even try.
Don't waste your
If
time.
the answer is maybe, that's still not a yes. Don't even try it. If the answer is yes, then you still need to decide turn 1 if you're going for him. He is that difficult to bring down. But that also means that makes him easy to ignore. But you have to ignore him correctly, I guess is the right way to put it. Because with objectives, Boba likes being range 1. And if you have a place you need to go, Boba is going to find you there. And he is then going to be range 1 stuff. He can take Maul crew again. So Force with Boba is there. Has a plethora of upgrade options, 22 points available. Veteran Tail Gunner is extremely valuable on him, especially when you're probably taking Marauder as the title. So you can have a gunner as well. If you want to take a Boba Fett that you punish people for ignoring you, you can go the Paul Heaver route that he took at Adepticon and go Greedo and Auto Blasters. That's really scary.
Boba go get you.
There's a lot of ways to kid out Boba, but no matter what way you do, you probably start with a Force crew blanket, easy. And then after that, figure out what kind of boba you're making. You just have to figure out what the rest of your list is going to be that needs to be successful enough to do whatever objectives that you have in front of you, and also do enough so that boba can still wreck most of the board and you can win the game.
Love it.
Everything you said right now is exactly why I made Maul at 1 less 0.8 an S. Because the whole Jabba overtuned veteran tail gunner plus all the other shenanigans that can happen is available with the 3 Force natively and the double coordinate at 8 points. Anyway, I'm just pitching it out there for you guys to bring Maul at 8 to the deserved dust that it belongs.
I think there's still trade-offs because boba is a lot of passive related stuff, which you still do have with Overtune, but you can't be stressed.
Yeah, boba can arc
And
dodge. It's a big difference.
Boba has boost and is a medium base. It's much more easier to get around the board with that than a big base that can't even one straight with the gauntlet, and with your build is disincentivized to do the 0 stop.
Yeah. Let me just say one thing to William. 2.5 with 11 health, 2 agility, and defensive rerolls. You don't need to arc dodge.
I am a wall.
It's not a necessity.
But
Go in there.
I'm more confident about there's more lists that can kill that Maul than there are boba.
No, I agree. You're probably right. I mean, no, not probably. You are right, because the medium base as well allows it to get in and out of tighter spots than the. So I mean, there's a lot of benefits to, and also the extra die out the back is really meaningful. Plus the auto blaster with Greedo, I think is what sets it apart as well. I think I agree. I was just kind of trolling a little bit with the Maul and 8. But
but your Maul build still very good. Not downplaying it. There's a definite like trade off one or the other. Obviously, there's 2 whole points of squad to trade off when you're going up to boba.
That's a whole TIE fighter. Big difference.
It's a whole Hav that you were probably already taking anyway. That's a whole Nandrew. I don't care about you.
Gotta love it. All right, this discussion over this last 2 weeks of going over these ships, we're going to go ahead and we've linked it in the last episode, this document.
Wait. Everybody ignored the Menace Defender Vader? Like, nobody?
Yeah,
we got an 11-point
no.
ship.
No, D rank. D for Defender.
It's not worth taking. That's at this point with the way objectives are. He's a murder machine. He does that goodly, but at 11 points, half of your squad with the objectives out there, it's not worth it.
Yeah. He
It won't let me give him a
as well as other
grade.
ships.
It won't let me give a grade. It still blacks out. The automation thing doesn't work. No one
You have to do the little roller on the next to the printer, the paint format. I'll get you for it. Yeah, you got to do the little paint format thing.
I gotcha. You know what? Actually, real quick, Dion, before we wrap up, real quick. The Fall of Dash Rendar, by the way. Oh, man. New obstacle rules, and he was probably already half your squad anyways, let's be honest. But we were ranking him pretty low from his all-star appearance with the last couple of tournaments we ran for Galaxies. He
needs his
anymore.
actions. That's the problem. It's like he has to have them, and he's not contributing outside of that. I mean, obviously he's extended only. So you know what? I'm curious at the Midwest Scrub Down happening in a few weeks. By the way, we'll be there. maybe somebody brings Dash. It's going to be extended. Maybe. Anybody out there doing it?
No one's going to do that.
I don't think so.
Because you can't shoot on gas clouds and debris anymore.
Sad.
So you actually have to fly the ship. You got to fly them now.
You don't got to fly them. You just got to barrel roll them.
Well, that's my important actions, though. I don't want to be barrel rolling off obstacles.
Well, then you don't dash. That's what it sounds like. You just don't dash.
Man.
He doesn't even get 2 talent slots where you can take expert handling and trick shot. You actually have to choose.
Nope. So sad. I mean, probably for the best, but RIP Dash.
Yep. I agree. Now, those of you who are at home, after we've done this, like I said, the document is open. You can make your own copies of it. And I would love for you guys to go through it. If there's something you have a hard disagree on, let us know. It's always fun to have that conversation. Be like, hey, you numbskulls, why'd you rank this so low?
Hashtag fight us.
Please. That's the fun part of this whole thing. So we'll see what comes out of the wash, and of course, this is something that these rankings will evolve over time. And there was definitely people who were posted like, Dion, can you please make like a TLDR of this? Please give me a 5-minute video with everything you guys said over the last 2 days. It's really hard to do. Maybe eventually. Maybe I'll just do the S tiers. Be like Gold Squadron's top picks, 5-minute video. Maybe. We'll see. If I have time. I still got stuff to do.
To my S tier. I need to fix something.
Amendment. Amend it.
You adding or removing an S tier?
I'm not going to send it. I'm not going to say people have to find it.
There you go.
Scavenger hunt. Where's Waldo? Where's the change?
We gotta love it. All right. So before we close out, let's see what do we got going on over the next couple weeks. We have I gotta look at dates for things. And my daughter's birthday is in a couple days, April 21st. So super pumped about that. Having a Pokemon birthday party. Should be good. Looking at upcoming events. What do we got here? We did that one already. Oh, I got to update this list of stuff. We have Memorial Day weekend. We have the Richmond Open, right? Richmond Open. We gotta buy plane tickets for that. We gotta do that. That's my job. Sorry. We have the Midwest Scrub Down. That's happening. Oh my goodness. Soon. That's in May as well. The week after. Yes, they were back to back. So Memorial Day weekend and post Memorial Day weekend should be good. I know that I'm taking a trip to California over summer time. I might stream something from there. Not entirely sure off the top of my head. We'll see what happens. But I got some ideas cooking now that I have all the Galaxy stuff shipped. By the way, if you haven't gotten your Galaxy's prizes, something went wrong. All right, I did get an email being like, I live in Bulgaria and I haven't got my prizes. My customs has it. That's not my problem. I love you, but it's not. Okay. We shipped it one time. All right. We shipped it one time and that's it. All right. I'm just kidding. I'll do the best that we can, but honestly, with limited staff, it's a little bit difficult to do reships. We have got a lot of ideas cooking now that I have everything out. The only thing that is withstanding are the top 4 tournament trays from District Foundry, and that's because a combination of him becoming a new dad and as well as supply issues for his magnets to make the kits. It's a dual-sided problem. So hopefully we should have those out soon. But I'm already cooking up prizes for the next thing. We had talked about the fact that I'm developing. Maybe did I say this publicly? Maybe I shouldn't say that yet.
League? Yes.
Yeah. No, there was something else. There's League, and there was something else.
Oh. Well, I don't know what you got cooking.
The physical thing, the shipping out tournament stuff.
Oh no, I don't think you're talking about public.
Are you talking about the thing that was?
Yep, that one exactly, Marcel. Yes, that's exactly what it was. All right, cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
That's all I got. Anything else you guys want to say before we head out today? No? All right. Well, be smart, be safe, and I'm going to have some cake in a couple days. I'm excited. It's also my daughter's birthday, but I get cake, so that's my reward as well. Thanks for watching, everybody. Gold Squadron out.